Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey, and this is my recap, sort of just of what we've gone over and learned so far in the term. I think the main thing is, as an athletic administrator, it's so important to hire coaches that are going to be focused on developing the athletes and making them better humans and more responsible and all those types of things instead of worrying and focusing so much on the win and loss record. So it's important as an administrator to understand what qualities you look for in a coach to make sure that, yeah, they do care about winning, but it's not over the fact that they're there to make the kids better as people and as humans and teach them life lessons that come through the game and not being so focused on just the wins and losses of that program. Also, managing and scheduling practice times, facility usage, and transportation for so many different sports and different levels is an extremely difficult job, and it's tough to handle as an administrator. I think it's key to be fair and utilize and remember Title IX. You can't make girls do things that the boys wouldn't do, and vice versa. I think it's important also to have sort of like a meeting with the coaches and make sure everyone's on the same page on how it's going to work, and just tell them that it's important for all the coaches in the school to be flexible because there's only so many facilities with so many different levels and teams. So just kind of getting everyone on the same page with that. Also, as we learned, budgeting for an entire athletic program is extremely difficult and almost close to impossible to do fairly. So I think as an administrator, it's important to make sure that teams fundraise. Like, just tell them it's sort of something that they have to do just because there's literally not enough money to go around. As I learned through the project, also sort of using old gear and old equipment where you can. So having the varsity jerseys go to the junior varsity and the junior varsity jerseys go to the freshmen, and that kind of those kind of things, just so you're not constantly spending money where you don't need to be. And also just getting on the same page with the coaches and having them understand that it's not going to be fair and it's never going to be fair. So just explaining to them sort of the process and telling them that if they really want something in particular, that fundraising will probably be the best option and opportunity for them. We also learned that dealing with parents is a very difficult task. I think that it's extremely important just to keep them informed and communicate with them. At the end of the day, overbearing parents, they only act like that because they care so much about their child. So the more we push them away and keep them out of the loop, the more overbearing and protective they're going to become. So just making sure that they understand that we do care for their child as well. And although our decisions may not always seem like it, it's part of life. So just sort of keeping them in the loop and helping them understand exactly what's going on. And also not letting them get too involved. I feel like sometimes coaches they kind of just let it happen. And so it's important not to let the parents become too involved. This is a life lesson. It's part of teaching their kid how to be an adult, that they can't always be there for them. They can't always have the answer. So that's an important lesson for parents as well. Also, coaches should always seek to develop players and help them reach the next level if that's something they want to do. So as an administrator, I would make sure that all of the coaches know and understand the recruitment process. And I honestly believe that there's a place for every kid to play if they really want to. There's so many different levels of collegiate athletics. So just sort of teaching them that process so they understand exactly what they need to do and what standards their kids need to meet to reach the next level. And the last major thing was hazing, bullying, and social media abuse must be addressed. So as an administrator and as a coach, having a presentation that sort of shows the seriousness of the issue, along with having it in writing and talking about it orally with the parents in a meeting, and having both the parents and the kids sign something just so it kind of covers everyone's tracks, saying that, hey, we talked about it, these are the repercussions if it happens, and just sort of covering your own tracks on that, because it is a very serious issue and it needs to always be addressed every single year. So how will I apply this personally or professionally? I think just meeting with the coaches and telling them the goal is to develop the athlete and the human to the full capacity and not the wins and losses. I kind of touched on that earlier when I first started this video. When it comes to the facility usage and scheduling, just being, as a coach, just learning how to be flexible and get creative. If I don't have a facility available, I can still utilize something else or utilize the time with the team although I may not have the field or the facility to do so, just sort of being creative with that time and not letting it go to waste. As a coach, in regards to budgeting and fundraising, I would put on a yearly fundraiser tournament just to bring in my own money, because I understand now after this class that it's not going to be fair and not every team is going to get the same amount of money. So if I want something for my team, I'm going to have to fundraise for it. And so just putting on a tournament and fundraisers that help the kids get what they need. Also, I kind of touched on this earlier, just as a coach, learning how to communicate with the parents and keep them informed. And like I said, having a seminar on the dangers of social media, hazing, and bullying, and having a zero tolerance policy. So once it's all been discussed, if an incident occurs, just cut it right then and there, because it's not acceptable. Those issues are not something that should be played around with or given too much credit to. So we learned a lot in this class. I took a lot away as both a coach and in what I would like to do as a future administrator. So I thought it was very helpful. So thanks for watching my video.